1 Kings 2. When David was close to death, he told Solomon his son, I am about to die. Be strong and become a man. Do the job the Lord your God has assigned you by following his instructions and obeying his rules, commandments, regulations, and laws as written in the law of Moses. Then you will succeed in all you do and seek to accomplish, and the Lord will fulfill his promises to me. If your descendants watch their steps and live faithfully in my presence with all their heart and being, then he promised, you will not fail to have a successor on the throne of Israel. So David is passing on to Solomon some last words, some things that God has made promise to make him aware of these things. Notice the condition there. What is the condition? Live faithfully in my presence with all their heart and being. So they need to live faithfully. What do we have here in my presence? By walking before me in faithfulness. Yeah, so your way of life. So they need to live out their life following after the ways of God. What are the things they are to do? Follow the instructions. Obey the rules, commandments, and regulations and the laws written in the law of Moses. Let's get back to our passage. So, in other words, do the job the Lord your God has assigned you by following his instructions. So be strong and become a man. Do that. So he is warning Solomon to follow after God, do the things. The promises have been made to me to have a successor. In essence, that also means that promise is passed on to you. If you continue to do these things, that promise will be in our line. As long as we follow God, we remain on the throne. That's what we can do. You know what Joab, son of Zeruiah, did to me? How he murdered 2 commanders of the Israelite army, Abner, son of Ner, and Amasa, son of Jether. During peacetime, he struck them down as if in battle. When he shed their blood, he stained the belt on his waist and sandals on his feet. Do to him what you think is appropriate, but don't let him live long and die a peaceful death. So David is taking care of some unfinished business. Since Joab was beneficial to the army and was loyal to David, he did not kill him himself. He is passing on the responsibility of the innocent bloodshed. Abner, son of Ner, and Amasa, son of Jether. There is innocent blood that he has shed, so do what you think is appropriate to him, but don't let him live long and die a peaceful death. So incarceration could, allow him to not be a peaceful death. So anyway, and don't let him live long. So, you do what you see is best, but you know what? Make sure you take care of this person who shed innocent blood. Not a traitor, but a person who shed innocent blood. All right, we got ads going to be rolling in. So he gives commands to take care of one person. Now we're going to get other people, how they should be treated. Treat fairly the sons of Barzillai, of Gilead, and provide for their needs, because they helped me when I had to flee from your brother Absalom. So treat this person and take care of them. They're a problem. Treat these people fairly because they were beneficial. Now, note well, you still have to contend with Shimei, son of Gera, the Benjamite from Bahurim, who tried to call down upon me a horrible judgment when I went to Mahanaim. He came down and met me at the Jordan and solemnly promised him by the Lord, I will not strike you down with the sword. But now don't treat him as if, as if he were innocent. You are a wise man, and you know how to handle him. Make sure he has a bloody death. So, remember when David was fleeing from Absalom, and Shimei, son of Gera, the Benjamite, came down and called curses on David and said he was horrible and all these things, and they wanted to kill him, and David said, don't do this. Who knows? Maybe God has called him to curse me, and you're going against God. And then when he was returning, he met him at the river, and he said he was sorry for everything he did, and David promised not to kill him. Well, now David's going to die, and so, hey, he's guilty. of what he did to the Lord's anointed. And so make sure he dies a bloody death. You're wise. You know how to handle him. Okay. What do we have here in the footnote? Bring his gray hair down in blood to Sheol. Okay. Yep. That pretty much describes it. Then David passed away and was buried in the city of David. David reigned over Israel 40 years. He reigned in Hebron 7 years and in Jerusalem 33 years. So David passing away, 40 is used as a time of testing, but it also is used when we have kings who rule. It is a sentiment to a time of blessing and peace. We had that through the book of Judges, and there was peace in the land for 40 years. So while the 40 years is happening, we will have the test at the end of the 40 years to see what people will do afterwards. So that's kind of what might be happening here. Also, it can be actually 40. Well, you know what? It could have been 20 or 38, and they rounded off to 40 because it's more symbolic. So don't get caught up in the exactness of these. It's not always absolutely supposed to be that. Sometimes they're using round numbers or they're using figurative numbers to say something more than just the literal, it was 40 years. Solomon sat on his father David's throne, and his royal authority was firmly solidified. So he's on a throne. David has died. He has firmly solidified everything. He has the authority. He is there. Haggith's son Adonijah visited Bathsheba, Solomon's mother. She asked, okay, so Solomon's mother is asking, Bathsheba is asking, do you come in peace? He answered, yes. He added, I have something to say to you. She replied, speak. He said, you know the kingdom was mine, and all Israel considered me king, but then the kingdom was given to my brother, for the Lord decided it should be his. Now, I'd like to ask you for just one thing. Please don't refuse me. She said, go ahead and ask. He said, please ask King Solomon if if he would give me Abishag the Shunammite as a wife, for he won't refuse you. Bathsheba replied, that's fine. I'll speak with the king on your behalf. Why is he asking for Abishag the Shunammite as a wife? Remember, she was a virgin who was brought to the king in order to keep him warm, but it says there was no consummation there. But just because it says there was no confirmation there, the symbolism of her position of being the last concubine, wife, servant of the king in such regards would have some kind of prominence. And remember what Absalom did? He went and slept with the concubines of the king, which was a power grab. So is he out for a power grab here? Or is there something else? So Bathsheba visited King Solomon to speak to him on Adonijah's behalf. The king got up to greet her, bowed to her, and then sat on his throne. Okay, it's also interesting. Why doesn't he just go to the king and ask? Why does he go to the king's mother? The position of the king's mother is a prominent position. It's not yet fully fleshed out here, but it becomes a position of advisor. So not the wife, the queen, but the queen mother is a position of advisor throughout so clearly she's in that position already, we see. He bowed to her and then sat on the throne. He ordered a throne to be brought for the king's mother, and she sat at his right hand. Oh, okay. So we're actually having this established, what I was setting up. He set up a throne for the queen mother. So she is there in a position of advisor to the king. She said, I would like to speak to you for just a small favor. Please don't refuse me. He said, go ahead and ask my mother, for I would not refuse you. She said, allow Abishag the Shunammite to be given to your brother Adonijah as a wife. King Solomon answered his mother, why just request Abishag the Shunammite for him? Since he is my older brother, you should have requested the kingdom for him, for Abithar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. So King Solomon knows exactly what this ask is. It isn't ask for the kingdom. That's what he's doing here. He is. That's why he wouldn't dare come to the king, because the king would see through it. But if I can convince his mom, who's not going to understand this, she's going to think it's innocent, and she can get him to do this. Well, then I can have a claim to the throne. She has to be approved by the queen or inspected by the queen. No. There's no word here that Solomon yet has a wife. So the queen mother is already the mother of Solomon. The queen has nothing to do with who Solomon's mother is. So she doesn't have to be approved by the queen or inspected by the queen. Are you saying that Abishag the Shunammite would have to be? No, I don't think so. I don't think that the virgin would have to be inspected by. No, it's asking a favor of the king to give you something that you couldn't get on your own. So, but the Solomon sees right through this thing. And remember what Solomon said, as long as you stay loyal, your life will not be forfeit. This is actually a move of treason. So King Solomon then swore an oath by the Lord, may God judge me severely if if Adonijah does not pay for this request with his life. This is a claim to the throne. He is asking for a claim to the throne. Now, on some level, the request is better than taking by force. Now, I don't know. I mean, he was in wherever the queen mother residence is, or gets an audience with her. So perhaps he could have just made a request to see her. He could have taken her by force, and that would have made the claim. But he's making the request, but he's making it in a covert way to see if he can slip one past here so he can restore his claim to be the next in line. But King Solomon sees through it, and it's like, this is one of these phrases, may the Lord judge me severely. So whatever I say needs to come about. I need to make it happen. If I can't carry this out, then may God do to me the thing that I am trying to carry out. So if Adonijah does not pay for this request with his life. So if I am not able to make him pay for what he has requested, then God may take my life. Now, as certainly as the Lord lives, he who made me secure, allowed me to sit on my father David's throne and establish my dynasty for me as he promised. So we're getting a little clarification in there, the identifying who the Lord is, and he has done this for me. Adonijah will be executed today. King Solomon then sent Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, and he killed Adonijah. So he makes a request after saying, I will be loyal to the king. So perhaps I was a little too rushing to say he must have done this just out of fear, then decides I had almost had the kingdom. Maybe there's a way I can get it back. So maybe his was just out of fear from being caught that he was repenting, and he was not actually having a change of heart, because now here he is trying to take the throne back from the king. The king told Abiathar the priest, go back to your property and Anathoth. You deserve to die, but today I will not kill you because you did carry the ark of the sovereign Lord before my father David, and you suffered with my father through all his difficult times. So now he has brought Abiathar the priest, so he is in the process of taking care of loose ends. The priest was on Adonijah's side, so you're no longer able to serve as priest. Go home. Not going to serve here, not going to serve the people. Solomon removed Abiathar from being priest for the Lord, fulfilling the Lord's message that he had pronounced against the family of Eli in Shiloh. So remember, there was the Eli in Shiloh and all of that stuff, that what was going to happen to his line is going to be removed from having anyone. Now, some of his sons were already killed. That already happened. But here it is further filled out, and the line of Eli is removed from priesthood. When the news reached Joab, for Joab had supported Adonijah, although he had not supported Absalom. So who are we supporting? When are we supporting them? Grab the horns of the altar. So Joab also is making a plea for mercy by grabbing the horns of the altar. When King Solomon heard that Joab had run to the tent of the Lord and was right there beside the altar, he ordered Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, go strike him down. When Benaiah arrived at the tent of the Lord, he said to him, "The king says, 'Come out.'" But he replied, "No, I will die here." So Benaiah sent word to the king and reported Joab's reply. The king told him, "Do as he said. Strike him down and bury him. Take away from me and from my father's family the guilt of Joab's murderous, bloody deeds. May the Lord punish him for the blood he shed. Behind my father David's back, he struck down and murdered with the sword 2 men who were more innocent and morally upright than he, Abner, son of Ner, commander of Israel's army, and Amasa, son of Jether, commander of Judah's army. May Joab and his descendants be perpetually guilty of their shed blood. But may the Lord give perpetual peace to David, his descendants, his family, and his dynasty." So Joab has gone to the horns. Benaiah is not wanting to kill him while he's holding the horns. Like, you're going here, you're pleading for peace. You should have a reprieve when this is happening, but now a pronouncement can be put upon you. So you've made the plea has gone, and we're had, nope, there will be no reprieve. You are not innocent. You are guilty. And what's furthermore, may the guilt now be perpetually on your descendants, and may no guilt be on David and his descendants. So Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, went up and executed Joab. He was buried at his home in the wilderness. The king appointed Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, to take his place as the head of the army, and the king appointed Zadok the priest to take Abithar's place. So we have one person, head of the army, killed, and we have another one put in his place. We have the head priest removed and another priest put in his place. So we have a new establishment of a new king, a new priest, a new head of the army. We don't have a new prophet, so Nathan is still the prophet. Next, the king summoned Shimei and told him, "Build yourself a house in Jerusalem and live there. But you may not leave there to go anywhere. If you ever do leave and cross the Kidron Valley, know for sure that you will certainly die. You will be responsible for your own death." Shimei said to the king, "My master the king's proposal is acceptable. Your servant will do as you say." So Shimei lived in Jerusalem for a long time. So he is taking care of Shimei in a different way. He's allowing Shimei to build a house and live there under house arrest. So go build a house. You can live there. You can never leave. You may not leave there to go anywhere. So this sounds like he is building the house. He cannot leave the house. And not only can he not leave Jerusalem, he cannot leave the house is what it sounds like. So under house arrest for the rest of your life. 3 years later, 2 of Shimei's servants ran away to King Achish, son of Maacah of Gath. Shimei was told, "Look, your servants are in Gath." So Shimei got up, saddled his donkey, and went to Achish at Gath to find his servants. Shimei went and brought back his servants from Gath. When Solomon was told that Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Gath and had then returned, the king summoned Shimei and said to him, "You will recall that I made you take an oath by the Lord, and I solemnly warned you, if you ever leave and go anywhere, know for sure that you will certainly die. You said to me, 'This proposal is acceptable. I agree to it.' Why then have you broken the oath you made before the Lord and disobeyed the order I gave you?" Then the king said to Shimei, "You are well aware of the way you mistreated my father David. The Lord will punish you for what you did. But King Solomon will be empowered, and David's dynasty will endure permanently before the Lord." The king then gave the order to Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, who went and executed Shimei. So notice, Shimei doesn't even get to plead his case. He just gets asked, "Why did you do this? You agreed not to do this. You went and did it anyway. So now you are going to die for the mistreatment that you gave to my father." So this is super, super weird. Like, hey, you're going to get to live under house arrest 3 years later, a couple of your servants, they escape and they hide out in a foreign country with a foreign leader. So you go to the foreign country with the foreign leader and you get your servants and bring them back. Like, why did you go do it? Send somebody else. Like, this is not hard, people. Send somebody else to get your servants. Like, send with legal documents making the claim. Send with someone go to the king and tell the king your problem. Go to some of these city officials and tell them your problem so that they can go and retrieve your servants. If that's something you need to do, there's ways to get it done without breaking your oath. You broke your oath. So remember what David said to Solomon, do what you see is fit. So what Solomon did is he put the death sentence in the hands of Shimei, and Shimei brought about his own death. So he gave because what he had done was cursing and those things. He hadn't actually taken up arms. Yeah, he threw some sticks rocks and curses and those things and taunting and all of that stuff. But yes, David wanted him dead, and he wanted him dead, but not live too long. You could do it a wise way. Look at how wise this is. Putting an oath on a person, letting the person break the oath. The reason for the death is the breaking of the oath, but also more than that, the punishment is for what he did to the king, to David. And so, but he allows the death sentence and all of that to happen under his own power and all that Shimei did. So Solomon took firm control of the kingdom. So what we have here in the first couple of chapters is one person trying to take the throne, David establishing that who was supposed to be on the throne. We have David giving issues of here are some people that need to be taken care of. Don't trust these people and reward these people. So he is passing on information to the next person to be able to handle things. Now, I think this is just a good way to hand off power, okay? So let's just say you're running a business and you have clients and you hire the next person who is going to be CEO or president of the company, whatever title, doesn't matter, manager, whatever. They're going to be running things. Wouldn't you want to tell them about problem clients and say, here's the problem with this person, here's what they're always doing, here's what you need to know, and hey, here's a client over here, they're so wonderful, they do all these things, make sure you take care of and reward this client. And then you might also go through the workers and talk about the workers and the problems. This is just a good way to hand off power to the next person who's going to be in control and running things. So it's a good system. David does it. Solomon follows through and is able to do all of those things.